Alright, so today we're going to continue talking about a little bit more about writing an equation. Since we have determined how to calculate the slope, and now we're going to make sure we can understand the y-intercept and then putting them together into our y equals mx plus b, and they're all good with that. So let's say we have a couple points here. So let's say we have the point 0, 1 and 2, 2. So everybody should be able to calculate this as far as slope, right? As far as our slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we'll label these as far as our x1, y1, x2, y2, and let's put those values in. So our y2 is a 2 minus our y1, which is a 1, all over x2, which is a 2, minus our x1, which is a 0. And a way to simplify that down, 2 minus 1 gives us 1 over 2. So we know our slope is 1/2. Alright, so we know this. We know y equals 1/2 x. So in place of our m, our slope is 1/2. We'll say plus b. Well, b is our y-intercept, and that's what we need to find now. So with that, on one of these points, we can use to plug into this equation here and solve for b. Because if we did that, then we would have just one variable left, because we can have a y value, we know our slope, and we'd have an x value. So all we'd be solving for is b. So let's plug in this point right there, 0, 1. I like those low numbers. It makes math a lot easier. So our y value is 1 equals 1/2 times our x value is 0 plus b. Well, it gives us 1 equals 1/2 times 0 is 0 plus b. So our b value is 1. So our y-intercept is equal to 1. So we know to write this out, we just simply write y equals 1/2 x plus 1. It's plus 1 because that y-intercept value, or b value, is a positive 1. So we know that the equation of that line is 1/2 x plus 1. So if we were to look at some other equations here, if we were to look at, let's say we had y equals 3x minus 5. From that, if we were asked to determine our slope, right, our slope and our y-intercept, just by looking at that equation, we should be able to determine that without doing anything. You should automatically see that your slope is 3, and your y-intercept is a -5. It's a -5 because, again, your base parent equation is y equals mx plus b. So since that's a -5 there, we have a y-intercept of -5. Right? Let's say we had another equation here. Let's say we had y equals -4x plus 6. And we were asked to find out what is the slope and what our y-intercept is. Well, our slope, what we like to see by looking at it, should be -4. And our y-intercept is 6. And it's a positive 6 because it's a plus 6. Just like our slope is a -4 because it's a -4 for the x. Now, if you were given those values, let's say you were given in a problem, it was told you that the slope is 2 over 5, and the y-intercept is at 0, -1. Again, if it's a point, don't let that confuse you. 0, -1, of course, that's meaning your x value is 0, so you're on 0 and x on your x value, and then you went down 1 on your y, so the y-intercept's at -1. This could also be just labeled a -1 if you wanted to. And it would ask you to write out the equation for the line given those features? Well, y equals mx plus b. So this is our b value, and that is our m. So we know mx is 2/5 x, and then plus b. Well, we have a -1 for our y value, our y-intercept value, I'm sorry, so it's a -1. Let's do one more of these. So then if you're given, it says your slope is -2, and your y-intercept is at 0.4, you would need to write that out by saying your y equals mx plus b, where m is -2x, and your y-intercept is 0.4, so you know your y value is 4, and it's a positive 4, so you can say plus 4. Now the last thing I want to go over for today's little lesson, I want to talk about actually transforming equations into slope-intercept form, into that y equals mx plus b. So if you're given, let's say you're given the equation 2x plus y equals 5, and asked to transform it into the y equals mx plus b, because you need to find, I want to know what my slope is, and I want to know what my y-intercept is. Looking at it like that may not be easy to tell. So let's go ahead and solve to put it into a y equals mx plus b format. So you had 2x plus y equals 5. Well, we want to get y by itself on one side, so let's subtract 2x from both sides. Again, the 2x's over here on the left go away, and you're left with y equals, and I'm going to put this -2x in front there, so we already have it in the y equals mx plus b format. And then I'm going to add that positive 5 right there. So now we have it y equals mx plus b. Well, our slope then is -2, and our y-intercept is 5. Let's look at another one. Let's say you had 3y plus 6x equals -9. Well, we want to solve for that y, because we're trying to find our slope and our y-intercept. So if we want to do that, let's go ahead and subtract 6 from both sides, 6x, I'm sorry, from both sides. On the left-hand side, we're left with a 3y. The 6x goes away, and we're left with -6x minus 9. Now to get rid of that 3 on the y, we're going to divide by 3 on both sides. Therefore, our 3's over here go away on the y, so we're left with y, and that equals -6 divided by 3x minus 9 divided by 3. And just to simplify that down, that should be y equals -6 divided by 3 is -2x, and then minus 9 divided by 3 is 30. So this problem, again, our slope is still -2, and our y-intercept is at a -3. Now, the only other trick you could do, if you're looking at y-intercepts, you could label it just like we had on the previous problems, where they put it in point form. So your y-intercept, your x value is always going to be 0. So you could write this out as saying 0, -3. And on this first problem we did, you could say that is 0, 5. Either one of those answers would be correct. All right, so hopefully that makes a little bit more sense on being able to write it in the slope-intercept form of y equals mx plus b, and actually being able to calculate your slope from 2 points, as well as being able to find your y-intercept, and then just being able to look at an equation and tell me what my slope and my y-intercept are. And then also being able to transform the equation from and also being able to transform an equation into the slope-intercept form to where y equals mx plus b. All right, guys, well, that's it for the lesson today. Hope you learned a little something today, and I'll see you next time.